Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? It is Vlogmas Day 7. Vlogmas Day 7. And for Vlogmas Day 7, today we are talking about our worst Christmas experience ever. I don't have a bad Christmas Day experience, honestly. I do have an experience for the day after Christmas, first day of Kwanzaa. There was one year in particular. I was married at the time. I'm divorced. But I was married at the time, and the day after Christmas, we had decided that on Christmas Day, we were going to spend Christmas that year with my mom and dad and my son. And then on the day after Christmas, we were going to go to California, Northern California, where his mother was living, my mother-in-law was living, I should say. And we were going to spend Kwanzaa 1st through the 3rd. I want to say we were going to be there like 3 or 4 days. And we were going to spend the first 3 days or so of Kwanzaa with his mom, my husband's mother. And we got up the day after Christmas. Christmas was wonderful. The day after Christmas, we get up to go and catch our flight. And I remember we got to the airport and something crazy happened. Like there was some kind of issue with the engine on the plane. Like I think we actually boarded the plane and everything. And then we were sitting on the plane for about 30 minutes or longer, until they came back and told us that they were going to have to find us a different plane because the plane had an issue. So we had to, deboard the plane. And when we learned that, I think we had to wait for a while before we learned that there was going to be like a 4 or 5 hour delay with our flight. So immediately we called my dad, and my dad came and picked us up and brought us back to my parents' home. And we just stayed there. We relaxed and kicked it for about 4 hours until it was time to go back. And then when we went back out, it felt like something else happened. But eventually we did make our way to California. Got there that night, and I just felt really tired, of course, because we had been like traveling all day. It's like a 5-hour flight. And then we had that whole debacle that went on. We got to the airport several hours early, because you should get there early for your flight. And then to have so many delays, that meant we were in the airport like for hours and hours and traveling. It was just like the whole experience just took forever. And so when I got there, I was tired. So I just figured it was because of all that we had dealt with. And then not even the next morning, I want to say in the middle of the night, I've had like this cough. And then I didn't know what was going on. I just felt really sick. And the only time I've been sicker than this, I'll tell you that story for another story time, was when I was working on cruise ships and I got the norovirus. But this was very close to that, except for with this, I had literally had a cough and everything. So it was almost like a really bad flu or virus, something I had. And when I tell you, I was delirious. It felt like for at least a couple of days, my chest was hurting so badly. And there's nothing worse than being sick and away from home, where you don't have access to your regular doctors. And I needed prescription like level cough syrup, because probably after 2 days of having this little scratchy, itchy cough, it started to get really bad because I didn't take anything for it. So my mother-in-law at the time, she had a good friend that was her doctor too. It was her doctor, but obviously was a doctor. And she told her what I was dealing with, and they prescribed me some medication. And praise God they did, because when I tell you I could barely rest, it was terrible. So I felt like I was just screwing up everybody's Christmas holiday. Because when I tell you I was sick as a dog, I was sick as a dog. There was no getting around that. And so that was probably one of my worst Christmas experiences. Because let's be clear. For me, Christmas isn't just the day of. Okay. Christmas is like the weeks leading up to the day and the week after, all the way through the Monday after New Year's. That's Christmas to me. That's holidays to me. I'm holidayed out the entire month of December. And I feel like Thanksgiving always sort of kicks that off. So that was probably one of the worst Christmas experiences for me. And then I would say the next thing closest to that, or the next bad Christmas experience, was probably about, I'll say maybe about 3 years ago. And it was just that I didn't do anything that I normally would. My son had moved away, and I just felt like, well, it's not going to be the same. I want to say a couple of my good girlfriends, they were traveling that year, and then something else happened, but I ended up just spending the day at home. Now, there is one of my good girlfriends who my son and I would always go there for game night on Christmas night. But for whatever reason that year, and I had every intention of going, but I didn't even go there that year. I think I was just depressed. Maybe I was depressed. But I can't. Oh, and I want to say there was probably a death that had taken place, which changed how I felt about that particular Christmas. Yes, in fact, that is what had transpired. Now that I think about it, and I was depressed about it. So, yeah, so that's that. So that's probably my worst Christmas experience. So, yeah, that's that. But anywho, with that said, that's my worst Christmas story or Christmas experience to share. And yes, I do have on the same thing I had on for yesterday's Christmas vlog. But that's because I wanted to be ahead of the game. Okay. So I taped them both. All right. Well, I didn't tape the first one, but I taped this one. Okay. Don't judge me. Don't come for me. You don't want none. So anyway, that's that. So that's my Christmas story. I hope that everybody is liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. And I hope you'll come back and hear more about my Christmas experiences and the things I love most, and get to know me a little better. All right. Come back and see me soon. All right. Bye.